The men's track and field team lives up to their #1 national ranking with a big win at the Wheaton Quad this weekend. We look at the squad's performance and the road to nationals right now on the Cardinal Report. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me this week is head coach for the men's track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. Coach, thanks so much for coming in.
Mark, thanks for having me again.
So the Cardinals #1 ranked right now, and they live up to that ranking as you guys come away with the title in the Wheaton Quad.
Yeah, we're more importantly than the national rankings, because they have all kinds of crazy ways they figure that out. But last week we were the top dual meet team in the country with 2 people per event, and tonight is everybody puts in their performances from the weekend. So tomorrow or Thursday we'll find out. We moved up a little bit in points from 196, I think, to like 200. So hopefully that's a true representation of what a total team is like. So I'm really proud of the guys for that. The national rankings, every week they're going to change because of who qualify or who has a mark that possibly may qualify by the end of the year.
And that's all they are. They're just rankings. They mean nothing. You don't get an award for being ranked #1 this early in the season. And when it comes to that time for nationals, guys still got to hit those marks, and anything can happen.
Yep, anything can happen. If they keep doing what they're doing with their coach and practicing and looking forward to the competitions, anything can happen. So every week you just look and see where your athletes place, and you go back to work and hopefully get some weather to compete in.
And despite the elements, the Cardinals, as we said, had a great showing. You really got to like the way that your team went out there and battled, even though the elements may not have been in their favor.
Yeah, we want them to compete no matter what the conditions are, because you can't control that. And what you can control is how you compete against yourself and anybody that's in that meet. So the weather has nothing to do with it. You just go out and do what you need to do, and the results will pile up.
Well, the Cardinals did what they needed to do, and the team was able to pull out the victory at McCully Stadium. Let's go to the highlight.
North Central College men's track and field team hoping to stay unbeaten outdoors as they head down the road to McCully Stadium for the Wheaton College Quad during cold and windy conditions this weekend. Zach Heerspink leading the charge for the Cardinal high jumpers, and Heerspink took the crown with a season-best effort of 6 feet 9.5 inches. Deontay Hackler hoping to find his stride in the 400-meter dash. Down the back stretch, he starts to pull away from the field. As they near the finish, Hackler has the lead, but Tevin Hopkins of St. Francis closing fast. Hackler holds him off and wins by 0.02 of a second in 50.36. Just as close of a finish in the 100-meter dash, but Matt Sylvanasing snags gold with a time of 10.7 seconds. Joey Michaels and Jonathan Moscoti representing the Cardinals in the 400-meter hurdles. Michaels pulls out to a big lead right out of the blocks. He wins this one with ease in 55.48 seconds to go along with his first place finish in the 110 hurdles. A slew of birds in the field in the 5,000 meters. No surprise early on as John Crane leads the pack of North Central College runners. But he's just getting warmed up, and as they near the finish, Crane decides he's heated up enough. He tosses the hat to the side as he continues to dominate, but his teammates are closing in. Crane wins in 14 minutes 54 seconds. Fellow Cardinals Daniel Curley, Mitch Gilbert, and Travis Morrison take 2nd through 4th respectively as North Central cruises to the team title.
Coach, an impressive showing from a lot of your captains at the meet. Matt Sylvanasing, Joey Michaels, both winning 2 events. Zach Heerspink leading the way for a sweep in the high jump as well.
Yeah, it just shows it doesn't matter what the weather is. It's if you go out and compete, you'll be competitive, and sometimes your marks are there and sometimes they're not. But the last 2 meets, the Chicagoland Championships, both Zach and Joey were at the top of our performance list with the efforts they gave towards a team scoring meet, and that's what we're looking for, that competition. Our first #1 goal is and always will be the conference championships in 17 more days. So everything we do between now and then, will help us try to reach that goal for our team, and then it's on to some individual performances, and the more of those you get towards nationals, the better your team's going to do. So, but they've been doing a great job, and you'll talk with them later.
Yeah, you can't look ahead to nationals because that's so far ahead, and just one meet at a time. That's the way this team seems to take it. And the CCIW championships, how do these meets, against the Wheatons and the Augustanas help you sort of gauge where you guys are in the conference?
Well, that's what, they're with the internet access and all the results reporting system, we know right away. That's why, Saturday I was surprised to see how well some performances were. Now, Augustana was down in Western Illinois, so it was probably warmer. Platteville, I'm not sure. The WEAC schools had a great meet. I don't know what the weather was like there, but that's what we do is week after week, search and find what the competition is doing, and, then go ahead and prepare yourself for what you need to do, week after week. And
you mentioned, the Cardinals have been the class of the CCIW lately, but the WEAC schools, just unbelievable, the competition in that conference. You had the top 4 teams going 1 through 4 in indoor nationals. How do you feel that the Cardinals can, rise to that sort of competition and be able to compete with schools like that?
Well, we want to be with the best, and that's what our cross-country program has done over the years. There was talk about another level beyond Division III for the private schools and not the state schools, but I want to be going against the best, and right now they're the best, and that's what you have to strive for individually and collectively as a team. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and not in a small private school league. We're Division III is non-scholarship, and we got to go against those schools, and that's going to make us even better.
It seemed like in the indoor season you guys faced those teams a lot, in the regular season leading up to nationals, because a lot of teams wanted to run on your track, where you guys aren't seeing as much as them in outdoors.
Well, the first meet, lacrosse called, and they brought their 10K guys, and we can have a championship-style 20-team meet every weekend, but sometimes you just got to say no. The first meet, traditionally, Stevens Point has come down over the years, so, gets us seeing somebody a little bit different than, the local schools like Chicagoland. Even Benedictine last weekend, I think, had 25 teams, so. Right. We don't want to go to a monster meet like that every weekend, so we try to have a small meet or look for some small meets, and maybe the competition's not always there, but certainly some of our athletes proved they can do their best without the competition there.
Right, and it's a great way to build momentum. Don't go away, because we continue to break down the Cardinals with Coach Gramarosso after a short break.
Loaves and Fishes Community Pantry provides more than food. We provide hope. With your help, we can provide food and hope to children, families, and seniors in need. Please visit us online to find out how you can join us in the fight to end hunger in our community. Loaves and Fishes, the power of community to change lives.
Welcome back. With us still is head coach for the men's track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. Coach, so we touched on the Wheaton Quad. The conference, as you mentioned, 17 days away. What is this team doing to prepare for that?
Well, they're with their coaches. Our coaching staff does a great job, and each individual event area takes care of themselves. I know the athletes in those event areas are working hard, and some areas we're very, very strong, and other areas we're kind of weak still, and we're going to try to make up those points where we can. But outdoors is a totally different sport, and even though sometimes we run away with indoors, outdoors is a whole nother sport and some added events, and we want to make sure we're trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah, more events, but it seems like there's also a lot more athletes that join teams once it hits the outdoor season. One of the strong points for the Cardinals is, of course, been the pole vault. You guys really look to them to make sure that they're getting some points on the board in conference.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, we're probably going to be outscored in the conference, because we're right now down to 2 athletes. We have, Josh Winder and Frank Gramarosso, and Peter is only a part-time student after breaking his arms, and Stacy's playing a little golf. He's had some injuries problems, and I think he's just given up the pole vault. So even if we go 1-2, that leaves the door open for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to have to make up some points in some other events to take care of an event that really has been scoring a lot of points for us.
Yeah, something in the past that you guys have been able to rely on, but it seems that the focus has to shift to other guys stepping up, and they've been doing that, it seems, on the track.
That's right. That's what it's always about. To be the team, you have to step up and get into some other events with some guys, or we might have to double some of our best distance runners to make sure that we have the points we need to take away a team championship. And you'll talk with Zach later. He's able to long jump and triple jump and high jump, and he may do all three in conference and help us get as many points as we can.
Hey, you mentioned the distance runners. They've been doing great this early on this year. Matt Muth, Pat Foley, John Crane with an amazing time in the 5,000. And it seemed like at Wheaton it was really more of a cross-country type atmosphere with that weather.
Yeah, the plan was that we were going to run a really hot 5K, but certainly the weather didn't cooperate. But everybody just stuck with it. The time is nowhere near national level, but it was a cross-country meet. Augustana sent some runners there, so with Wheaton, Augustana, North Central, our distance runners did a great job, but we have to improve upon those times throughout the season as the weather gets a little bit better.
Well, the weather seemed more like winter than spring at the Wheaton Quad. We look at how the team battled the elements in this week's What's the Word?
It's hard, but you just got to tough it out, and everyone on the team knows that, and we don't let the weather affect us. Everyone on the team, everyone that does track, they're tough competitors, and everybody that does it is they're not gonna let the weather affect them. They're just gonna go out there, compete, and run their best, and have fun doing it.
As Dahlquist says, it's more of a mindset. If you just have the mindset that I'm going to go out and compete today, that's the best you can do. And like I was telling the guys in the huddle, temperature is just a number, just like age is just a number. And if you just don't let that affect your mindset, you're still going to have a good day regardless.
Yeah, you do get a little diversity, especially, the mid-distance on down to the 100 guys. They're not used to wind like this. Cross-country guys maybe a little bit more so. So it does, but we try not to let it get in their heads. Monday, we were talking about how the weather could change. You don't know what it's going to do. It was 60 degrees and windy on Monday at our place, and today it's 40 and windy here. So we just try and focus on the aspect of getting your mind ready for the race, and that's going to bring it through.
Coach, you guys fought through that, and John Crane again coming through in the 5,000. He's really been battling this year and had some impressive showings in that race.
Yeah, he sure has. He's working very, very hard. One of the goals is to try to get him in the Drake relays and run a really fast 5K there. And then we still have to, like indoors, decide what's in his best interest for himself individually as he go on to, national level competition. If he's going to run the 10K or the 5K or do both, that's still undetermined at this point. But he's a great runner, and there's going to be a lot more from him and some of the other distance runners. We slipped a little bit in the 10K. We posted that time early, and some of our guys slipped to the middle of the pack, but certainly, we're trying to get 3 of them into the Drake Relays 10,000 meters, and this week we'll find out what entries were accepted there.
And how much do you rely on the athletes' input when you're trying to decide what event is best for the team to be able to score points?
Well, each individual coach in those event areas will discuss that with their athlete, and then a lot of times we want the athlete to come forward and say, this is what I feel I can do to help the team, because certainly we're not going to make somebody do something that they're not prepared for or something that can risk an injury for their main event.
Well, best of luck, Coach. I'm sure the team's going to have a nice little push for conference and nationals. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Keep it right here, because after the break, we welcome in 2 of the captains that helped lead the team to victory. We'll be right back.